I'm telling you, those men and women in Toronto, can they dress? I was so impressed my first time there. It was a balmy 6 degrees for a high, but it was a dry cold, and what a beautiful city. And this is where they have this international design show, and it's one of the world's elite trade shows, all about trends and styles for the home, which is what I talk about every week here on Home Wizard. Cindy Dole here. Hi, guys. Well, a number of American brands that you know of were there because they all said, you have to be. This is one of the elite shows, like IKEA and Viking and GE and Krups and all of them. And so was this company BLANCO, the makers of sinks, that hosted the trip for me and several other home improvement experts to get really an inside peek at their factory. They have one in Toronto to see how these indestructible sinks are made, and then to take it in and all the new looks and materials and so forth, the colors. And so I hope you'll go to my website later today at cindydole.com. You can check it out. I've got videos and the blog and so forth. But right now, I wanted to share more after talking with two of the presidents of the BLANCO company. So here we are at the International Design Show, and Flavio, tell me about just what it means as a huge company worldwide to be at this show in comparison to other interior design shows.
Well, for us here in Canada, it means that we're keeping up with all the latest trends worldwide, and also we're seeing any local trends that are occurring, and being involved in the show gives us that perspective.
And is it important to be quote-unquote trendy as a company?
Absolutely, yeah. And here at BLANCO, we've made every effort to have the latest colors and latest shapes available, so consumers can get those latest trends from us.
Because sometimes as consumers, we hear, and on our show we talk about how it's important to be trendy, but it's also important, like that classic black suit or classic black dress, to have timelessness too. Yeah. So how do you balance that? Because you want to be chic and fashion forward, but still have those pieces in your home that are always going to be cool, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we try and do here. We have some classic shapes that we've always maintained in stainless steel, which is the accepted norm in the industry, stainless steel sinks. We have some nice square bowls, some undermounts, some flush-mounted sinks. And then we move on to our new trends, which are colored sinks that match a lot of different countertops that are available now. And we spend a lot of time making sure that the new colors do match well with all the different countertops that are available now.
I know that you guys were in Europe just a couple weeks ago, and you're always traveling all over the world with your headquarters in Germany too, right? What kind of influence do other aspects from fashion and the automotive industry, and then just speaking of color, what does that have on finally trickling its way to you and the sink business, and in what is going to be great for our kitchens? And
well, color trends are always changing, and I think by remaining at the forefront, you kind of catch the trend at the right time, and you have your products available when the trends are, very hot, because they only last 2 or 3 years, and then there's a shift to a different palette.
And it's so
of colors.
yesterday.
Yeah, it is. So at the show in Germany last week, we did see a lot of neutral colors, a lot of taupes, lighter browns, lighter grays, and they were all incorporated in the new kitchens, cabinet doors, countertops. So we try and match our products to those trends and the products so the kitchen is all one overall theme as far as color goes.
It does feel like Europe is a few years ahead of the United States in terms of being fashion forward or predicting what we should have or want to have. Would you say that's the case?
Yeah, that seems to be the case, absolutely. Yeah, because we don't see a lot of those colors here at the show in Canada today. It's still the colors that were more vibrant. There's purples, there's reds, there's blues. The orange. If you were at the show last week in Europe, you didn't see any of these colors. So we'll probably see those colors here next year. So they are generally a year or two ahead.
So you're kind of going, you guys better catch up.
Absolutely, yeah. Being a European-based company, we do get those trends from our compatriots in Europe a little earlier than most companies. Yeah.
So looking to 2011 and the year after, what do you think the homeowner wants in a kitchen? How has that trend or that just desire changed or not? Whether it's the economy, whether it's just living, our mood?
Yeah, I think, well, women in general, I think, are the ones who design kitchens.
Because we rock.
Yeah, and you do. And I love women, so no. No, but they generally, I think the first thing they're looking for is an overall theme and color palette that they want to match, whether it's light or dark cabinets. The countertops need to match. They want some contrast. So, I think that's the primary theme. Then they want functionality. And we have a lot of products that offer that functionality. And then not the last thing, but they want the quality and the value. They want products that will last and that they don't have to pay exorbitant amount of money for. So quality and value is probably the last dimension. So if you can find a way to offer your products and fulfill those themes, then you'll do well.
Are you feeling that things are getting a little better economy-wise for the kitchen remodeling business, or at least baby steps? Marc, with BLANCO?
Well, I think Canada's actually held up much better than the United States through the whole economic crisis. They never got they didn't have as big a bubble as we did, nor obviously did they have as big a drop. So in the United States, though, there seems to be some improving confidence. The stock market's improved, and consumer sentiment seems to be improving, although we did have a bit of an improvement in the second quarter of last year, but then that dissipated. So hopefully this one will be more sustainable. But people seem to be a little bit more optimistic going into 2011 than they were in 2010.
And speaking of a sustainable economy, we want a sustainable kitchen, right?
That's exactly right.
Not only to save the environment, maybe save a little money, but it just seems like it's making sense more and more.
That's right. There's obviously a whole green movement home-wide as well as worldwide, and we've contributed a bit to that with our Solon composting system, which actually is a great system designed to let consumers put their organic waste right into a great composting system that they can then put in their bin or right in their garden using their waste. And
as to the Silgranit sink, how is that also a green product in its own way?
Well, it's made of 80% real granite, but it's granite. It's not mined for that purpose. It's actually, we use remnants from other mining reasons. So it's not mined just for our purposes. And then obviously it's a natural product.
Had fun at the factory seeing you guys test it, and we tried dropping a metal ball on the thing and scratching it and staining it, and this thing, says, ha, try and get me.
It's a great product, and we're pretty proud of it. It does last for a lifetime. We've had models now that are in excess of 15 years old, and they look the same as when they were installed. No scratches, great color, and great functionality. So it's a great sink product.
If people just wanted to do one little thing to the kitchen, I guess changing out the sink would be a smart choice. It isn't that expensive to do. You could put that in and start to feel like you're getting a little bit of a new look.
That's right. It's very, very economical to do that, whether you want stainless steel or whether you want a color sink like one of our Silgranit sinks. They fit in standard countertop cutouts, which most people have in their kitchen already, so you don't have to change the countertop. You could just change the sink out, add some color. We talked about the color trend, so we have our new color called Truffle, which has the tones that Flavio talked about earlier, which is a gray and a warm brown, so giving it some organic feel, and goes very well with most countertops. It's a very versatile color.
And it goes well with clothing. You can wear it if you want to.
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely. It's important to match your kitchen.
That's right.
Well, looking forward to the next year or two, any predictions of what might change? You said that neutrals are now hot for the next year or so, and then, we'll switch back to wanting something more vibrant again, or who knows? It's cyclical, I guess.
Yeah, I think you'll see maybe some new shapes in sink design. Can't reveal what those are now. But I think you'll see a lot more professional-looking faucets. You'll see more color as far as not only the sinks, but also throughout the kitchen, and more contrasts. I think that's where we're headed. That's what we saw in Europe.
And when we were at the factory, I mean, there's certain things that we could photograph and certain things we couldn't, because obviously you want to protect your secrets. Is it really a competitive industry where people are trying to steal your ideas or see what you're doing and try to copy?
Yeah, there's a lot of copying in the industry, whether it's designs or things like that. And we actually, with regard to Silgranit, we actually own 6 of the patents related to the product. So we obviously want to guard that pretty closely because we feel like we have the best material in terms of cleanability and durability in the marketplace. And we actually also have the only factory in the Americas. We have a factory here in Toronto that services both Canada and the United States, which we import the product both in the U.S. We import from Canada as well as from Germany, but we get a lot of the product from here in Toronto.
I just have to point out, for those who can't see you, you're wearing a very fashion-forward color. Yeah. I have heard that every man is supposed to have a lavender shirt in his wardrobe in 2011. I'm just saying.
Yes, yeah, I fully agree. Yeah.
All right, Seth, that's a note to self. Lavender shirt. Working our way to hour 2 of Home Wizards. We're still having fun. I hope you are too, so don't go away. If you love books, wait till you hear about some classics that you might be able to add to your collection. What do you do with great books? How do you preserve them? We're going to get the inside word on what may be valuable. And then later, we're going to get your super party for the big game on. Cindy Dole, hour 2.
Hey,
coming
Cindy.
Your way. Yeah.
What color is that?
Lavender.
Purple?
Purple.
Lavender.
Lavender.
Okay, check.
Okay, hour 2. Kick it up, Seth.
Everybody